startups, entrepreneurship, starting your own new business. Join me every week as we dive into stories, topics, and advices from the top founders, innovators, the crazy ones, the misfits, the troublemakers. Every Saturday at 4 p.m. I'll see you there. There's a lot of trade between Germany and Pakistan that even I wasn't aware about. Could you tell me a bit more about that?
Pakistan, I think, is of very few countries with whom Germany is in trade deficit. Pakistan usually exports things like textile, leather. Germany especially exports technology. All the footballs, jointly done by Adidas and a local partner in Pakistan.
What kind of opportunities are there now to expand?
Currently, if you see the changing dynamics of this world, so things need innovation, things need technology. Very unique thing that's going on in Pakistan. In Sialkot, they had idea of making leather out of the peels of mango. German companies, German businesses are there to support you. German government is there to support.
Could you tell me more about the startup program, because these people can really take benefit and these guys are there to give benefit.
The German Chamber of Commerce in Germany are supporting the ideas of a startup. So there are certain programs such as Startup Germany tour.
Right.
And for the first time, Pakistan has participated this year. And we are looking for startups who are interested to collaborate with Germany, German startups, German tech community basically.
Assalamu alaikum, my name is Saad Allahwala and we're back with another startup podcast where we're going to be talking about more on business today. The formal businesses, not so informal startups. And we have the representative of Pakistan from the German Emirati Chamber of Commerce. It's a very long name. Why did you guys have to do that?
It's a bilateral joint chamber in UAE,
okay.
which has now been a regional chamber of German economy. So we are associated with most of the GCC countries plus Pakistan, which I'm looking after. So
awesome. So we have Mohammed Usman with us. He's flew in for the podcast, and he hasn't, but we're going to say that anyways. And I'm really excited to have him over. Germany is a topic that used to be more talked about before, but now it's gotten there's so much happening in Pakistan now, but it's such a good trade partner for Pakistan, a lot of exports from Pakistan, and I want to talk to him more about how we can work more with Germany and Europe overall with his network and what kind of opportunities there really are for new businesses. So first of all, thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, it's an honor. And then we were talking for a while, but now he's finally here. So again, Usman bhai, I want to know a bit briefly about yourself and how you got to be here.
Yeah, so basically around 28 years of old or young, studied basically information technology, microelectronics, automation technology. So I'm associated with the technologies, you call it engineering here. So and then I also pursued executive certifications on technology entrepreneurship from the Harvard University. I have been associated for the past 5 years before joining the chamber with the Deutsche Bank as assistant vice president, looking after the application management, IT governance, and topics related to fintech basically. So this motivated to me actually to be part of this setup of the chamber. I personally think I can do something for German-Pakistani bilateral trade relations specifically, and that's why I thought it's a good opportunity for me to support this initiative.
That's phenomenal. So Germany is a big country. It's one of the larger GDP economies globally. When we think about Pakistan, it's a very small country relatively. But what you just mentioned that there's a lot of trade between Germany and Pakistan that even I wasn't aware about. Could you tell me a bit more about that, and then we'll dive into technology?
Yeah, if you speak from the Pakistani side, Germany is the largest trade partner in EU, and if you talk from the German side, there's a funny thing about the German-Pakistani business relations or trade relation is that Germany is actually in a trade deficit, although very small margin, with Pakistan. And Pakistan, I think, is of very few countries with whom Germany is in trade deficit. So this makes a unique situation. And yeah, Pakistan usually exports things like textile, leather, uh, uh, things like surgical instruments. Football World Cup is here, so
Yeah.
all the footballs, jointly done by Adidas and a local partner in Pakistan. Adidas, a German company, big brand, and yeah, so German name is everywhere in Pakistan, and Germany especially exports technology, equipments, machinery, things like that. So this is very, I mean, unique trade relations, I would say, if you speak from the German side. And yeah, that's why I'm here to support the export initiatives of the German businesses to Pakistan and see how we can, further develop this bilateral trade relations.
That's phenomenal. And that's very interesting that Pakistan is actually importing more to Germany than importing. And I wouldn't say that for Germany, but that's good. Well done, Pakistan. And way to go. Way to go. What kind of opportunities are there now to expand? Because there's a specific amount of textile that we can export. We don't have a lot of land more that we're growing on, that we can create more denim, or we can eat more cows that get converted into leather.
Yes. So I think currently, if you see the changing dynamics of this world, especially with the Ukraine war, especially here in the region in Pakistan, especially with the flood situation. So things are changing, and I think there is a need of understanding about the sustainable development, sustainable businesses. Yeah.
Yes.
And this is a major topic, especially regarding the climate change. So everything now associates with each other. So you can't do the traditional business that you were doing before. So things need innovation, things need technology, things need association with the climate. You talked about textile. Yes, exactly. Pakistan is exporting a lot to Germany, European markets due to the GSP plus. There is an advantage for Pakistan, definitely.
Right.
And I think Pakistani businesses, Pakistani companies, they also need to work on new ways of new methods exactly to bring in innovation to take care of the climate sustainability goals. And I also got an idea actually from one of our partner company who is basically producing leather clothes for the Oktoberfest in Germany. It's a very unique thing that's going on in Pakistan. In Sialkot, this company is producing leather clothes. You call them Oktoberfest Kleidung, the clothes, and they are exporting it to European markets plus the US.
Wow.
And they now want to work on the sustainable growth and taking care of the climate situation. They don't want to, as you already mentioned, the animal cause exactly. So they had idea of making leather out of the peels of mango.
Yes, I have seen those videos.
So we are looking for potential innovators here in Pakistan who could do these things and on a large scale. So things are moving, I think, in the new world dynamic. So there is a huge potential once again, but this has to be tapped in Pakistan, especially. Yes. Pakistan needs resources. That's true. German companies, German businesses are there to support you. German government is there to support. But there should be ideas of innovation that could be bilaterally explored.
Right. So as we were talking earlier, you just mentioned so many opportunities for Pakistani businesses that can be there and are there. Even when I was in Germany, I visited a lot of centers, accelerators, incubators, where people are co-working spaces, where people are in the tech business mainly. But there's so much, there's a big, I would say, need for resource and then talented resource that we do see in Pakistan. And hiring a programmer in Berlin right now is like way above the pay grade of a startup. So they need better resource. So that's a market that I saw. But as you just mentioned, a lot of in incubation centers and especially the NICs are working on amazing projects like you just mentioned. I think there was one working with leather goods as well, which are trying to innovate into other fields other than cow and goat. But until we reach out to these people, because you just mentioned, so could you tell me more about the startup program, because these people can really take benefit and these guys are there to give benefit to businesses and expand.
Yes, I think the German government and the German Chamber of Commerce is in Germany are supporting the ideas of a startup. As I mentioned, this is part of the new strategy of the German government also to support innovation and new technologies. So there are certain programs such as Startup Germany tour.
Right.
And for the first time, Pakistan has participated this year. And I think, inshallah, Pakistan would be there also in the coming years. And we are looking for startups who are interested to collaborate with German startups, German tech community, basically. This Startup Germany tour program is worldwide, and it happens in every continent, basically. The German local partners are usually the German Chamber of Commerce and the diplomatic missions in the host country, in our case, Pakistan. And so we select basically the most coolest startup, I would say, and also the innovative startups. There are three goals. So basically, sustainability, logistics, and mobility. This comes all together actually, and those startups have the opportunity to be shortlisted from the host country. They can then go into the next stage of Asia, and then at the end, there's a selection of 15 startups who would then travel to Germany to participate in the final. And there are opportunities. I mean, you of course win a prize at the end. There is 1 or 3 startups who will win that prize. But regardless of the prize money, there are huge amount of opportunities in Germany. The networking you get there, the tips and all the information you require, to explore and expand. This is there.
No, definitely.
And these kind of initiatives, especially from the German government, is actually really good for countries like Pakistan to, come forward and work together with the German partners.
It's very true. Where can one learn more about the programs that you guys have introduced? And then I've seen, so we've been in touch. You guys have taken delegations from Pakistan. You guys brought a delegation from Germany to Pakistan. How does one really take benefit of all of this? How does one get connected to you?
So basically, companies could become our member. We have a membership-based structure. The membership is basically for the UAE and the region. So a Pakistani company can become a member. You are by default invited to all our activities, you will get like mailings and information through mailings and social media. This is actually the new world. I mean, you won't get like newsletters posted to your place or to your company, but you get everything digital.
Of course.
And this is the way the members can avail these opportunities, but non-members also. Our website, our social media channels are always available. The information is up to date, and you receive, or you can look for all the possible information. And I'm there to support the Pakistani market, so you always have my contact there, and you can reach me out about our plans and informations, what we are doing. You're right. I mean, we already organized a few delegations, German business delegations to Pakistan, and also a startup delegation to Germany, especially Berlin. And we are looking forward also to do this in the near future. This exchange, I think, can bring closely the German Pakistani business community.
That's phenomenal. So you mentioned that you've been part of the Deutsche Bank, you've been an AVP. Can I learn more about fintech from you? And
Sure.
What's the potential in Germany with the Pakistani talent?
Yeah, I think Pakistan lacks far behind. This is my personal opinion in the fintech. It's not only about the technology; it's also about how to use technology, how you govern the technology.
Yes.
If you're bringing applications into the market, there should be set of regulatories, set of governance processes, and being associated with Deutsche Bank for 5 years, especially in the governance, IT governance, um, this is a very complex topic. I mean, governance. And in Pakistan, you still don't have a data privacy law.
Yeah.
In Germany, we have a GDPR, General Data Privacy Regulatory Law, and it's for the European Union especially. So we also get a lot of inquiries from people doing business in IT sector in Germany especially, and they are outsourcing majorly in Pakistan, some companies. So they have these problems, like when there are no bilateral treaties, especially on data privacy, this becomes a challenge. So in fintech, I think one part is basically the governance had to be streamlined, especially from the government side. Private banks, of course, have to adhere to it, but these are things that needs to be done in Pakistan, and these things are lacking. I mean, of course, every bank can bring a mobile app or digitalize their structures.
Yeah.
But there should be some regulatory authority who has to give the uh, give the outline how they have to work on these processes.
That's great. The main thing that even we're working on is the human resource of Pakistan. We see that as the biggest resource in Pakistan because Saudi Arabia has oil and they have oil refineries. We want to set up a human refinery now on a mass level and export that. So what kind of potential do you see there? Because the job market, there's a big job market, but even with remote jobs in different fields, do you see a barrier to entry for Pakistani individuals?
To Germany, I mean, not a barrier, but there are limitations. For example, you're right, a population of more than 230 millions by now. This could be utilized, mostly younger population. This is I think a big factor for Pakistan.
Yeah.
And human resource in Germany is really needed nowadays due to the changing world. Not only in IT sector, in all sectors basically, also as like a bus driver, for example. Yeah, there is shortage of labor in Germany right now, and I think this could be utilized from countries like Pakistan. The limitation where it comes is a language barrier.
Yes.
German language is not that easy. So our German institutions, organizations already present in Pakistan, like Goethe Institute, like GIZ, they're already having these programs. Goethe is the language and cultural institute based out of Karachi. So if anyone would like to avail these opportunities, you have to be streamlined through these organizations. GIZ is already working on social development projects in energy in different sectors. But regardless of that, you also mentioned about the freelancing that can be done. For that, you don't really need a language. Outsourcing programming, for example, programming skill sets or different skill sets in the technology could be utilized, yes. But then again, I already mentioned this point about the governance and the data privacy bilateral treaties that has to be done before going deeper into these exchanges. So there is a bit of things that has to be done. And then I think this market is open, Pakistani market, for the German companies. They can avail the outsourcing opportunities, and some are already availing these opportunities, but there are much more that they can do.
So my next question is actually a bit generalized, not extremely focused at Germany, but what we see is a lot of outsourcing companies. Again, because we come from a tech background, I have a very similar questions in that field. But what the biggest thing we see is all these outsourcing companies are focusing on either Australia, Canada, UK, or the US, because of the biggest barrier that they see is the language. When you travel in Europe, you see that in one day you can travel 3 countries, but every country has a different language and different cultures. And because the culture is preserved, their emotions are still connect, even if they know, like Germany, everyone speaks English now, but if they want, if you want to know how they behave, you need to know a lot of German literature, German culture to do that, and then then only you can really take benefit of that exact market. And that's what we've seen, because we see Hollywood, and now we know we see Friends, we know more about how Americans think, American work. We are always getting that content, but that's amazing that Germany has these language institutes, and a lot of people do know about these already and are taking benefit because of the German education system, well, mainly that, but also people who want to go work in Germany. That's a very good factor. So I think one of the biggest barrier to entry that people do see is language, and then that can be overcome easily.
Yes, I mean, language is a barrier, but it is by default, especially also in Pakistan. If a German is coming to Pakistan, different regions, it's by nature though. But institutions, we like Goethe Institute are supporting programs. There are online language courses available. So language now, I mean, in Germany, if you ask me, like 10 years ago, if you roam around on the street, or even before that, it wasn't easy to communicate in English with locals. But now it's changing. You already mentioned you can speak with people in English. So it's now a globalized world, even more. And if you have to do business internationally, though, so English language is basically the major communicational language. But if it comes to labor in Germany, especially, you know, some services industry, in hospitals, in nursing, there is a huge demand in Germany. So I think for that there is a language barrier, truly. But in tech, I think it's not really a big limitation.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah.
Could you tell me a bit more about what's the bigger plans for the German consulate, especially with the Emirati one?
I can speak on behalf of the German chamber, but our partner, a very good ally, is the German consulate here in Karachi and the German embassy in Islamabad. We are working very closely, also with my colleague from Germany Trade and Invest. These three pillars of the German economy are working very well in Pakistan, even though AHK is based out of Dubai. Also my colleague from GTAI, she's based in Dubai, but we have a very good relationship with both the embassy and the consulate in Pakistan. Our plans for next year are actually organizing networking events, delegations, and we are also planning on organizing a hackathon event for the tech community in Pakistan. I think there's a huge potential, and we would like to do a hackathon event next year to promote this exchange of startup companies between Germany and Pakistan. So looking forward to that. Apart from that, we are also looking at diversifying German businesses to Pakistan. That's is one of our major goal, and for that I think we are not only looking at the typical sectors like textile and things like that, but we are also working on different sectors like renewable energies, and things like recycling, which is also a big topic in Pakistan. We are bringing a delegation next year on medical technologies, lab technologies, and pharma industry. So basically, I think this is a sector where Pakistan can utilize the technology of German companies, German technologies, and I think there is a huge demand in Pakistan, and German companies are experts for that. So I think this is something we can support the Pakistani economy with. Things like that. We have delegations, networkings. We also would like to do a roadshow in the near future in Germany to make aware our German partners, businesses in Germany, what the Pakistani market is about, how they can avail these opportunities. But on the other side, the political situation currently in Pakistan is not very favorable, and this is also attached with the economic situation. So I hope things move forward next year onwards, and we can do things that we have already planned and maybe much more.
That's very true. Unfortunately, yes, the political situation is a bit tricky at the moment in Pakistan. But we've never, so we because we've seen that all our lives. We've overcome it sort of now, and try to live past that. So that's phenomenal. If someone wants to get in touch, they should definitely check their website out, look in what they're doing. Germany in Karachi is doing so much. You can follow their Instagram. I do follow it, and there's so much that you guys are doing. It's just phenomenal. And AHK, of course. Yes,
Thank you.
Yes. No, I mean, I need to follow your Instagram now.
Oh, sure.
One of the friends that of ours is a guy who sets up micro factories in Pakistan. He set up more than 5,000 factories, which can be started in either $100 or $5,000. And again, they're very basic factories, very basic things. But what they do is, because it's business, they expand it more and more, and now they're millionaires. And started off from $1,000. So people like that, how can they benefit from this? Because again, you did mention that business should grow. What kind of basic goods are there that can be exported from Pakistan? And what kind of trade, how can someone get advice of trading?
Yes, I think the main thing for Pakistan is value addition. There are a lot of products, regardless of textile and leather and surgical goods. There are goods that could be exported to the European markets. But the value addition is very important in this regard, and also the certifications of European institutions, depending on what goods, what consumer products you would like to export to European markets, has to be taken care of. But the value addition is again a thing that has to be taken care of inside Pakistan. There are things like you can export to Germany. Mangoes, they do go to European markets, but I think there is a huge potential. They can be, not only as fresh mangoes, they could be like, you can export things, products or byproducts of mangoes actually. Like mango puree and things like that, mango sauces and stuff like that. So there is not much done actually right now. So the value addition has to be a topic that has to be worked on here in Pakistan. Salt, we have pink salt, I think, in Pakistan. Yeah, so it is coming to the European markets, but there is also things.
So there's a lot of business that can be done, but there's a very, very big educational gap. Not educational as in like degree wise, but they don't know, or is there a database that people can find out and see that, oh, this is something that is in need of Germany, this is how you get the certificate of the European Union to get certified and start selling in Europe?
Yes, I think there are institutions in Germany who are looking after. We have associations for almost, I think, everything. For water, for natural resources. So these associations have these laws, and they can tell you more about it, and everything is available because Germany is already an advanced country. Most of the things are already available online, and of course you need to do a bit of research on that, depending on your interests, which sector you want to explore within Germany. And we have organizations like Germany Trade and Invest. They would definitely help you out getting these information. Also, our chamber would help you out to know about the information in Germany, what you require, what are the laws, things like that. We do provide consultancy as well on these things. Yes.
Great. So get in touch with the Chamber of Commerce, get in touch with the German Trade and Invest, and let's start exporting more. And when we know more about what really can be done, I mean, a person with money now wants to set up a factory, but they don't know what to do. So Amazon is one way to go that everyone knows about, but this is another aspect, another way forward, and definitely should be explored. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you
for coming by. I hope you enjoyed this time in Karachi as well, and inshallah, trade should double in a few years. So
thank you. See you next time.
Not just double, but 10x. Okay. Thank you. Bye.